What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Monday, May 24th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 6-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. There's plenty of value on this slate, so I like Lance Lynn pitching against the St. Louis Cardinals. Lance Lynn, he's giving up a .645 OPS versus righties. He's facing 5 righties, but he's also only giving up a .551 OPS versus lefties, facing 2 lefties, and a .525 OPS versus switch hitters, and facing 2 switch hitters. So the splits are somewhat balanced here, and I like this pick because the Cardinals have only hit 6 of his last 36 pitches. That's a 167 batting average. He's 10,000 FanDuel salary, and he's 700 less on DraftKings. Projected at 33.5 fantasy points, and he has an ERA of 1.55. His record is 4-1 on the season, pitching an average of 97 pitches per game, averaging 39 fantasy points per game. He scored 22, 48, and 39 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Lance Lynn here versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Miguel Cabrera with a 68% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Sam Hentges. Miguel Cabrera is batting 32% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .909 OPS versus lefties. And Sam Hentges, he's pitching his worst ball versus righty batters. 36% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.305 OPS versus righties. And Miguel Cabrera is only 2,500 FanDuel salary and 900 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.8 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 3, 6, and 51 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So this might be my favorite play on the slate just because of the low salary, the great splits, and he's facing a low salary pitcher, so he's got a great matchup. So I like Miguel Cabrera here versus Sam Hentges.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal,
All you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
and then we'll send you $100 PayPal.
So it's that easy.
And we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video.
So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now guys, just as a quick note, we just released a free DFS contest on Draft Dashboard for MLB and NBA for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's over $500 available in the prize pool, and this is a totally free contest you can enter as a Draft Dashboard member. So make sure to click the link in the description of this video, give Draft Dashboard a try, and you can start playing in our free DFS contest and compete to win some money. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. Another value play for you. This slate is full of value plays, so I like Brendan Rodgers with a 52% batting advantage over David Peterson. Brendan Rodgers is batting 43% better versus lefty pitchers. Now he's only batting a .583 OPS versus lefties, but David Peterson is giving up a .734 OPS versus righties. And there's no at-bats versus Peterson yet. He's 2,400 FanDuel salary and 100 more on DraftKings. But I like this pick because Brendan Rodgers, he's got a pretty good batting average so far this season. Even though his OPS is not great, he has a .286 batting average, and he's got the advantage on the splits here versus David Peterson. He is only 2,400 FanDuel salary, 100 more on DraftKings, so he's low salary, and he's projected at 7.7 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 16, 0, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Brendan Rodgers here versus David Peterson. It's almost like it's going to be hard to spend money on this slate. There's a lot of value, and there's not a lot of top-end players that are going to be able to fill your lineup. That's why I want to go with Lance Lynn, get a value play, and then just stack the rest of your bats. But let's take a look at the third base position. Here's a stud pick for you. I like Jose Ramirez, batting against Spencer Turnbull. Jose Ramirez is batting a .916 OPS versus righties. Spencer Turnbull throws his worst ball versus switch hitters, giving up a .661 OPS versus switch hitters. But I like this pick because Jose Ramirez is 7 for 16 with a .438 batting average and a 1.221 OPS versus Turnbull. He's 4,000 FanDuel salary, and he's 1,800 more on DraftKings. Projected at 12.5 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 13, 6, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Jose Ramirez here versus Spencer Turnbull.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Tim Anderson with a 31% batting advantage over Kwang Hyun Kim. Tim Anderson is batting 31% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.077 OPS versus lefties. And Kwang is giving up a .652 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Kim yet, and Tim Anderson is 3,400 FanDuel salary, and he's 2,500 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.9 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 3 and 6 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Tim Anderson here versus Kwang Hyun Kim. Okay, moving on to the outfield. So here is another stud pick for you. You'll definitely be able to fit him in with all the value on this slate. Although the splits aren't great here, he's still one of the better batters on the slate. So I like Trey Mancini, and he's batting against a low salary pitcher, Matt Shoemaker. Trey Mancini, he's batting a .734 OPS versus righties, and Matt Shoemaker is giving up a .749 OPS versus righties. Now, Trey Mancini is 0 for 3 versus Shoemaker, but it's a small sample size. I think he could be due for a hit here, and he's 4,200 FanDuel salary, and he's 1,300 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 22, 6, and 18 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Trey Mancini here versus Matt Shoemaker. Now, if you want an outfielder that has some better splits here. Take a look at Ramon Laureano. He's got a 42% batting advantage over Yusei Kikuchi. He's batting 18% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .878 OPS versus lefties, and Yusei Kikuchi throws his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .715 OPS versus righties. Now, the only reason that I'm a little cautious about this pick is because Ramon is only 3 for 13, batting a .231 and a .522 OPS versus Kikuchi. He's 3,600 FanDuel salary, and he's 2,000 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.7 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 12, and 40 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Ramon Laureano here versus Yusei Kikuchi.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.